Welcome back to Auto Shorts and Decepti-Clips. So, people have been talking about Cyclonus and the back of his Studio Series box. So, what does it say? Cyclonus was created from the remains of a fellow Decepticon. So, on the back of the box, now this is zoomed in from on the Xavi website, so I apologise. I obviously don't have it to hand. We've got Scrapnel to the side here, Cyclonus in the middle, with Kickback on the other side. Now, for all of us that know that we've watched the movie 9 million times, this image is taken from when Thundercracker is reformatted into Scourge. So even the picture is wrong. The graphic is wrong. So, did Cyclonus come from Thundercracker? According to this image, he did. This does not confirm, to all you Skywarp boys out there, it does not confirm Skywarp becomes Cyclonus. It doesn't. The image is wrong. Just like the animation error was wrong in the movie. Because we all know it's Bombshell. Oh, he went there. He went there. Well, to be fair, let's just re-look over the animation, right? Let's just go that way, yeah? We've got the scene from Transformers the movie. And this is where Unicron is grabbing the 5 Decepticon warriors, 3 Insecticons, 2 Seekers. Now, for all intensive purposes, the scene goes, they're the ones that don't move. They don't react to when Unicron activates. But again, I suppose Unicron isn't talking to them, he's talking to Galvatron. Now, it is argued that they're already dead by this point. They're already dead. They're just husks, they're just shells. They're already gone. So we've got the scene. You won't get the audio. Scourge. And to be fair, hold a minute. Hold the horses. Wait a minute. Hold your horses. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's all in grey. Okay. We'll wait until we see Skywarp in a second. Okay, yeah, so yeah. 2 Insecticons become sweeps. Okay. I believe this here. Okay, yeah, so we do actually see your Skywarp purple and your Skywarp black. Okay. I accept it. I was going to hold a minute. Is it actually Thundercracker? Hold the phone, because he's all grey in that scene. But it's not until we do the next bit with Skywarp and then you actually do see the more black and the Skywarp colours, let's say. The warrior. So we see here this error, this fudging error, this 40-year-old bastard of an error. Here we go again. Let's have a look. So, in the foreground, everybody, in the foreground. See, look. See, remember from the graphic I showed you? Scrapnel, Kickback, Scourge, Thundercracker, in the middle. And what did we get on the graphic? Bomb. So, according to the toy verse, Cyclonus is born from Thundercracker's remains. His remains, not Thundercracker. They actually use the word quite cleverly there. They say remains. On the Galvatron packet, it says Megatron, but on Cyclonus' box, it says remains to indicate they're already dead. They're just shells. They're just bodies. So we'll go back to Bombshell. There he is, becoming Cyclonus, alongside Skywarp in the background, becoming the second Cyclonus and his armada. So we've got this scene. That main Cyclonus transforms. Then you've got the other one behind him. So we've got, at this point, actually, hold a minute. Hold the phone. How many bloody sweeps have we got here? So 1, 2 Cyclonuses. Scourge coming in here. Sweep. Sweep down here. Sweep there. Sweep there. Scourge there. Hold the phone. Have we got 6 bloody sweeps? Yeah. Do you know what? I've actually never noticed that. We've got a sweep here. So we've got one at the bottom. One here. One there. Let's say that's Scourge, just for argument's sake. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And what looks to be something happening back here. Let's have a full analysis of this damn scene. I've seen this movie so many times, and I've never noticed that little bit of animation blob. That's that one, isn't it? This guy here with the second Cyclonus. Yeah, I think it is. That little bloody blob. Let's slow this bad boy down. Sorry, I know this is going to get boring. Let's slow this right down. So he's transforming. This guy here. Yeah, you got one here. Okay. It's literally a blob of animation. It's a blob. It's a blob that appears there. It's possible it's an error. Oh, surprise, surprise. Transformers movie, an error. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 sweeps in this scene here. And as the scene continues, so let's go over it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with an animation blob. And then he goes, let's just skip that, the ship. Yeah, skip that. And Galvatron takes off, as we all know, so I have slowed it down. So he lands on the ship, and then you finally get the other members here. For all of you that have seen this movie 101 times, like myself, you already know what I'm going to say. Come on. So, right, swooping round, we get 1 Cyclonus, and then we get a Scourge, potentially, and 3 sweeps. So, the usual 5. So, 5 Decepticons were then turned into 5 new unicornized Decepticons. And then we never ever see nor hear of any second Cyclonus or additional... Well, we actually do get additional sweeps, so that's a lie. But out of the 3 that are created here, even though only 2 were created, they keep 3 more consistent as the third series goes on and as the movie continues. So we've all seen that. Let's go back here. Let's see who the real one is. There he is. Bombshell's at the front, guys. I'm sorry, I know. I do like to wind people up. And as you know, if you're a fan, you know that I don't particularly like it when one character is turned into another character, or character deaths in general. Or character deaths. Like, for a long time, I embraced it. I liked it. And when it comes to those guys, okay, RIP artist standard, there's a new guy called XP Studios or something, trying to do the same thing when the old deleted scenes from the movie, most of which seem to be from the Ultimate Battle scene. There we go. So we've got the characters that turn into other characters. Now, the Decepticons from the movie, that's not the only time it happened. Obviously, Orion Pax was rebuilt into Optimus Prime. As far as I'm aware, he only retained some memory of that time, and Ariel becomes Alita. And again, she's not in it enough. I think Alita's only in 1 episode, with Ariel only appearing in 1 episode. And there's no sort of history as to whether she remembers her time as Ariel. Because Optimus Prime does have a memory. No, he has a memory of the Aerobots, because he sees the Aerobots as Optimus Prime. So I don't know if the Orion Pax body, or sorry, the Orion Pax mind is completely disappeared by the time he is rebuilt into Optimus Prime. Which is why Optimus Prime doesn't shrink down when the Matrix isn't in him, because his body is completely rebuilt to house the Matrix. This is different for a Hot Rod and Rodimus. Again, for the sake of story, it works. It does work. But when it comes, say, for instance, like Hot Rod and Rodimus Prime, he remembers everything as Hot Rod. But in 1 episode, he sort of goes, "Oh yeah, Hot Rod again." It's like, why would he all of a sudden act immature? He wouldn't. He's had time as Rodimus. Again, but then that's the dilution of Rodimus Prime. I don't know, he's not the old school guy's not everybody's favourite character. I actually like Rodimus Prime. I like Rodimus Prime. I'm not going to sit there crying, "Oh, Hot Rod killed Optimus." Maybe he should have shot Megatron sooner. And then obviously later on we get Bumblebee is rebuilt into Goldbug. No mind differences, no memory changes, no memory lapses, nothing's forgotten. He's literally just has a new body. So the Spark and the Brain module go into a new rebuilt body. But for some reason, Cup and Blaster and Steeljaw, they don't get new bodies after that scene. Only Bumblebee does. They had no new toys at the time. And then we get the famous one. The famous argument. Who the hell is Cyclonus? Now, for all intents and purposes, people go, oh, but the original writer said it should be Skywarp. Well, maybe the original writer should have been a lot more clearer on the script, passing it over to the animators, because it clearly wasn't obvious. It wasn't obvious to those that were animating it who the hell was meant to be who. So we get, these characters get removed, and we get, essentially two extra characters, two new characters, and the rest are just army builders, which I don't like. Like, for instance, Skywarp was my first Transformer. I like Skywarp. He has a half decent ability, and his teammate Thundercracker, again, they're a decent pair. They go well together. So two individual characters are swapped out for two new individual characters that have zero memory of their past selves. Like, for instance, when we see Thundercracker's monolith or his tomb in what was it, the Starscream's Ghost episode. So we know Thundercracker's dead. He is considered dead, which leads to people thinking that when they get to Unicron, that they are dead already. It's literally just their remains. It does not say X is turned into Y. It is these parts are turned into new parts. So essentially, you could argue maybe the original intention, one of the original intentions, was to have these two dismantled and then rebuilt into a lone Cyclonus. Potentially, it's one of those things that where the script changed. I think one of the original ideas was the Decepticons, particularly Cyclonus, Galvatron, and Scourge were meant to be reborn from the old Decepticon generals that are around Starscream's coronation scene bit, because you see the flames, they're all meant to be sort of taken up and then turned into these new bodies, like some of them looking a bit like Cyclonus and Scourge. And one of the other things I've seen is that it was meant to be any resources that Unicron has eaten up on his journey. So maybe at this point those from Lithon are rebuilt into new troops. So only the Lithonians are then rebuilt into these guys. Now, I think that would have been better in the long term, and just have these 5 characters killed off on screen. I know it goes back on me saying I don't like character deaths, but to keeping in the spirit of the movie, where they did kill off only Autobot characters die in the movie, except for Starscream, but we know he comes back anyway. You could argue that's -1 for them, but it's also +1 because he comes back. But okay, so right, Starscream dies in the movie. All right, I'll take it back. But by and large, no Decepticons die in the movie except for Starscream, and even then he comes back because they're all sort of either they're turned into new characters. But even then, at Starscream's coronation, all 5 of these characters are there, and then we see, I think it's Kickback or Scrapnel later on with Scavenger on Junkion, and then in series 3 we see Kickback and Shrapnel. I don't think we see Bombshell again. I think he's the one character we don't see again, but out of the 3, I think he's actually the most interesting of the characters. That, in my humble opinion, that's what I think. Bombshell is the most interesting of the 3. So I missed them. I missed these individual characters. An entire faction is wiped out when it comes to the movie. The Insecticons are removed. At least some Seekers do remain, like Starscream comes back, and the Coneheads are remained. And then you still get some background flat tops. By and large, I don't like characters being turned into other characters. I don't like character deaths anymore. That's why I will not touch the Skybound stuff. It's the same drivel we've been given from the IDW days. Not interested. So we'll have another look at other characters that got turned into other characters. If this is not a full list by any stretch of the imagination, just my sort of 10 cents in regards to what the hell did they do to Cyclonus? What the hell? Who was he? To be fair, he's probably nobody now, because the idea is that they're built from the remains of dead robots. They're literally just a shell. So don't think Thundercracker was turned into Scourge. He was literally just parts, and then he's given new life as Scourge, because there's literally no memories of their past selves. Yes, in some Japanese storylines, they do have, I think they do create a Skywarp from a Cyclonus, so on and so forth, in some of the Japanese storylines. And they can be canon if you want them to be canon. I don't see them as canon, particularly if it's not animated. Like filling in gaps in comics and stuff, that really winds me up. And then later on, Zarak, as he's known in Japan, becomes Black Zarak. Jinrei becomes, it's not Victory Leo. Is it Victory Leo? Doesn't matter. This lion dude here. Again, don't like that. Just keep him dead. Just keep him dead. Because again, he's not the same character in any way, shape or form. And I would argue these two aren't really the same character either. And then one that I hate from Beast Wars. I hate that they did this. Tigertron, solid character. Airazor, totally unused character, gets turned into Tigerhawk, who's a nothing character. He literally doesn't really do anything other than, oh, hi, I'm Tigertron and Airazor, and I'm now dead. That was literally what his purpose was, to just kill them off. Absolutely hated that. Hated that. And later on, we get Rhinox into Tankor, Waspinator into Thrust, and Silverbolt into Jetstorm. Again, didn't like that from Beast Machines. I know it was a clever way of doing it, of going, oh, this is what happened to those characters, but it doesn't mean I have to like it, and I didn't like it. I think it would have been better if Tankor was Scorponok and Jetstorm was Pterosaur, in my humble opinion. But again, I would have preferred them to be all new, brand new characters. And then later on, in Energon and Armada, again, Smokescreen is rebuilt into Hoist. But again, he's the same dude. There's no new memories. He's just a little bit more serious. And I think the same for Wing Dagger and Wing Saber, and this version of Inferno turning it into Roadblock again. The characters don't change. They're not brand new characters. They're just sort of renamed characters. And there's never really any explanation as to why they've been given a new name. It's just for the sake of the toy. Well, the toy's called Hoist, so he's now called Hoist. It makes no sense. And later on, another three that I did not like that they did this. They should have just killed him off. Because I think they massively wrecked the character Demolisher in Energon by turning him into, well, I call him Iron Tread. I use the Japanese name. They turn him into Demolisher 2, but I call him Iron Tread. Completely different character to the original Demolisher. Like, deliberately mind wiped and turned into a new dude. And okay, there's some argument that Snowcat remembers Cyclonus days, but again, really rubbish. Didn't like the way they did that, and I absolutely hated Tidal Wave being turned into Little Mirage here. Did not like that. And there was a few more others. You know, I didn't cover them all. I deliberately did not cover them all because there's a lot to go over. There's what's his name? The green Jeep dude gets turned into Leo Breaker in Cybertron Galaxy Force, and then there was, I think it's Alita 1 gets turned into Black Arachnia in the animated series. Yeah, they've had some right wild things they've been doing. And when I go through this, it's not when Optimus Primal gets turned into Transmetal Optimus Primal. That's just a new body. He's literally the same brain, same spark, just a whole new body. Similar to Bumblebee, but for some reason they gave him a new name, as with the Energon and Armada characters. So yeah, going back to the main focus of the video, who was Cyclonus? Well, I'll tell you exactly who Cyclonus was right here, right now. So Cyclonus is red and Cyclonus is blue. There we go. Cyclonus is Rumble and Frenzy. Joking aside, don't forget to love, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys and girls in the next video.